Today I am going to talk about how to knit a scarf. Scarves are very easy to knit. If you are a beginner knitter, this is probably one of the first things that you will make. Basically, a scarf, in my opinion, is just like a dishcloth. There are no rules. You can use any yarn you like, any size needles, any stitch pattern. These are a couple of scarves that I made when I was first learning to knit. And these were also my introduction to working with natural fiber yarns. This yarn is called Chunky Owl, by the way. And it is what got me hooked on working with natural fiber yarns as opposed to synthetics. So if you would like to knit a scarf, you can check online. There are tons of free scarf knitting patterns. Or if you would kind of like to design your own, you can look online for some free stitch patterns, or if you have stitch pattern books, maybe spend an afternoon or a couple of hours going through your stitch books until you find a stitch that you would like to try. And then find some yarn and some needles, and you can make yourself a scarf. Scarves can be as long as you want them to be. They can be wide, skinny, somewhere in between. They can just be plain stockinette or garter, or you can use a pattern. It's up to you, whatever you would like to do. Today I am going to knit an extreme scarf. I will be using 4 different yarns, and I'm going to be using size 50 needles. Most of you probably don't have giant needles like this. The only reason I have them is because I did actually make something with them once a few years ago. It was a Lion brand pattern. I don't remember what it was called, but it was kind of like a knit snuggie. And I ended up not liking it. But I do have these needles lying around, so I thought I would put them to good use. I'm going to show you how I'm going to knit a scarf. So when you have decided on which stitch pattern you would like to use, and you have your yarn and your needles, cast on. You can use any cast on you like. For the scarf that I am making today in this video, I just used a long tail cast on. And I am just going to do a garter stitch scarf. Obviously it's a little hard to do an intricate, detailed stitch pattern with such gigantic needles and all of these different yarns. So to keep it simple, I'm just going to do a garter stitch scarf. And you don't have to go to this extreme. I am just using these kind of to demonstrate that there really are no rules. You can use whatever yarn and needles you like in whatever way you like to make your scarf. Also, I have this yarn that I just want to get rid of, so I will use up all of my scrap yarn this way. And also, this will be a quick knit. I should be able to get this done in an hour at the most, I'm going to say. And if you're curious, the yarn that I'm using is the much loathed Babies First by Lion brand. If you've seen a couple of my other videos where I use this yarn, you may know that I don't really care for this yarn very much, so that is why I just want to get rid of it. So I have my cast on row, and I'm going to begin knitting my scarf now. Okay, my extreme scarf is now done, and it's not very long. So in order to keep this around my neck, what I did at the end here was I made a bauble. So now, when this is around my neck, I just take the bauble and put it through. Well, you can see here, this is a very loose fabric, so I can put the bauble through, and then the scarf will stay on my neck. But like I said, no rules with scarves. Make them as long as you want, as wide as you want, however many yarns you would like to use. Simple, complicated, plain, simple. It is up to you. And that is how to knit a scarf.